Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. This is the actual temple here he's talking about specifically. Go near to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools who do not know that they do wrong. A lot of the fools were offering sacrifices too. We're going to read about this in the prophets as we go through the rest of Israel's history. They never stopped offering their sacrifice. Well, occasionally they would. Occasionally some of the kings would change things so dramatically they didn't. But for the most part, they didn't stop offering their sacrifices. They kept doing that. Sacrifices were a major part of the ancient world. And so, generally speaking, the Israelites never stopped doing that. But they did stop doing it with the proper attitude and their right heart. That was always a problem. And so even the fools are offering sacrifices, but they don't know that they're doing it wrong. They're doing wrong by doing so. Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. Now this is talking about vows. We've mentioned vows before. We don't really have a vow culture today. But he's talking here about don't make hasty vows, or don't make long and wordy vows. Jesus will say this too in the Sermon on the Mount and say, make your yeas yeas and your nays nays. Don't just kind of keep babbling on. Either do what you say you're going to do. Say what you're going to do and then do it. Same principle here. Here we're talking about making hasty vows. Jephthah made a hasty vow in the days of the judges. We're talking about making hasty vows. Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven, and you are on earth. So let your words be few. As a dream comes, again, Jesus is going to talk about this in the Sermon on the Mount, and say that your Father already knows what you need. Your Heavenly Father, God who is in heaven, already knows what you need before you come to Him. So you don't need to keep babbling on and say a lot of different things, or try a lot of different chants or incantations or whatever, or make bribes or anything like that. God already knows what you need before you come to Him and ask for it. So just say what you need to say and be done. And Paul will go on and elaborate later on and say the Spirit, we don't even know what to say, and the Spirit intercedes for us while we say things to God. God is in heaven and you are on earth, so let your words be few. As a dream comes when there are many cares, so the speech of a fool when there are many words. When you make a vow to God, do not delay in fulfilling it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to vow than to make a vow and not fulfill it. We've seen that principle in action several times already. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin. And do not protest to the temple messenger, saying, my vow is a mistake. Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, stand in awe of God. If you see the poor oppressed in a district, and justice and rights denied, do not be surprised at such things. For one official is eyed by a higher one, and over them both are others higher still. So the system protects its own. The officials are protecting each other from charges of corruption. The increase in the land is taken by all. The king himself profits in the fields. Whoever loves money never has money enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. This too is meaningless, meaning you're chasing after the wind. It's vapor, it's smoke. It goes up, it's transitory, it's transient, futile. As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owner except to feast his eyes on them? The more stuff you have, the more people you want who want to have it, the more people you need in order to help maintain it and distribute it and properly take care of it. And it gets to the point where all you can do is look at it. The sleep of a laborer is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the abundance of a rich man permits him no sleep. He's going to be too worried about his stuff. I have seen a grievous evil under the sun. Now remember, Solomon was rich. So in these categories of the rich man and the poor man, he's a rich man. He's identifying with the rich man here. So that's what he was. I have seen a grievous evil under the sun. Wealth hoarded, the harm of its owner, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when he has a son, there is nothing left for him. Naked, and again, Solomon's going to lose that money. Not his day, but not long after he's gone, we're going to have a pharaoh from Egypt come in and take all the stuff, or at least most of it, a good chunk of it. And over the years after that, other foreign rulers are going to come in and take it all away. That money Solomon accumulated, all that stuff he got, is not going to stay there. It's not going to stay there for his son or any of the sons that come after him. Naked a man comes from his mother's womb, and as he comes, so he departs. He takes nothing from his labor that he can carry in his hand. This too is a grievous evil. As a man comes, so he departs. And what does he gain, since he toils for the wind? All his days he eats in darkness, with great frustration, affliction, and anger. This is basically what Job is talking about at the beginning of the book of Job, when he wishes he had never been born. We read through the book of Job. So after he lost everything, after he was afflicted by the painful boils on his skin, his friends came and sat with him for a period of time, silently, waiting for him to speak first. And he did, finally, after 7 days. And the first thing he talks about as he goes through the beginning of his discourse is regretting that he'd ever been born, wishing he had been stillborn in the womb. Because in his mind, having lost everything, having lost all of his sons and daughters, and all of his items, he now has nothing. He is the same now as he was the day that he came out of his mother's womb, and his entire life has now been rendered purposeless or useless because he has no legacy. He has no sons to carry on his name. He has no name to make great any longer. And he might as well have never lived. He might as well have died the day he was born, because he's accomplished nothing. For where he was at that point in time, he has accomplished nothing compared to the day when he came out of the womb. And that's basically what Solomon is saying. And that's what Job laments at the beginning of the book of Job. And that's what Solomon is saying here. Now, in this case, he's not talking about somebody who has lost everything. He's just saying that, he did mention misfortune earlier, and his son, not leaving anything for his son. But he's just saying that doesn't really matter. You're not going to be able to take it with you. You're not going to have anything with you when you die. Then I realized that it is good and proper for a man to eat and drink, and to find satisfaction in his toilsome labor under the sun, during the few days of life God has given him, for this is his lot. Moreover, when God gives any man wealth and possessions, and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift of God. He seldom reflects on the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with gladness of heart. So enjoy what you have, and enjoy what you do. It's all going to go away when you die. Whether you have much or little, whether you have much and lose it and end up with little, whatever it is, it's all transient, it's all transitory, it's all vapor, it's all smoke. It's all going to go away when you die. Someone else is going to get it. Maybe your son, maybe somebody else, who knows. So you might as well enjoy it while you have it. Enjoy it while you live. I have seen another evil under the sun, and it weighs heavily on men. God gives a man wealth, possessions, and honor, so that he lacks nothing his heart desires, but God does not enable him to enjoy them, and a stranger enjoys them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. We're not going to find our eternal satisfaction in our things, and God is going to make sure of that. We can enjoy what we have while we have it. We should enjoy what we have while we have it. But we're not going to find, going back to that eternity idea earlier on, we're not going to find our eternal satisfaction in these things, and God has made sure of that. God has set up life in such a way to make sure that we're not going to find that there. A man may have 100 children and live many years, yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive a proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. Job would agree with him. At least at a certain point in his life, Job would have agreed with him. It comes without meaning, it departs in darkness, and in darkness its name is shrouded. Though it never saw the sun, this is the stillborn child, of course, though it never saw the sun or knew anything, it has more rest than does that man, even if he lives 1,000 years twice over, but fails to enjoy his prosperity. Do not all go to the same place? All man's efforts are for his mouth, yet his appetite is never satisfied. What advantage has a wise man over a fool? Why does a poor man gain, what does a poor man gain by knowing how to conduct himself before others? It's not like it's going to make him rich. It's not like anybody's going to give him stuff. Better what the eyes see than the roving of the appetite. Be content. See what you see. Be content rather than desire. See without desiring. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Whatever exists has already been named, and what man is has been known. Human nature never really changes. No man can contend with one who is stronger than he. The more the words, the less the meaning. And how does that profit anyone? For who knows what is good for a man in life during the few and meaningless days he passes through like a shadow? Who can tell him what will happen under the sun after he is gone? He's asked that question a number of times now, in a number of ways. He has posed that question of what's going to happen after you die 2 or 3 times already now, at least. In different ways each time, but he is bringing up the point over and over that what's going to happen? You're going to work all this stuff you've got, you're going to spend all this energy getting all this stuff, and what's going to happen to it? What's it going to profit you? What's it going to accomplish in the end?